Hello and thank you for being part of this project. This presentation has been designed to be shared with the broader community. It is not designed to be changed in any way unless authorised by the author. A script has been provided to you so that you can confidently deliver this presentation with some basic facts and wonderful images donated by enthusiastic photographers. If you have any questions, please feel free to either visit the Bees Business website or email Dr. Megan Halcroft. Okay, let's begin. Hello and welcome to this presentation about the importance of Pollinator Week. This presentation has been created by Dr. Megan Halcroft from Bees Business to teach people about the importance of pollination and to encourage communities to get involved in Australian Pollinator Week. So, first things first, what is pollination? Put simply, pollination is the process by which plants reproduce. Like in humans, plants have sex cells. Male sex cells are called pollen and are found on the anthers of flowers. Female sex cells are called ovules and are found at the base of the stigma. For pollination to occur, male and female sex cells must unite. This requires pollen to be carried from the anthers to the stigma. This can be done by a pollination vector, which can be water, wind, or an animal. Once pollen has made contact with the stigma, a sugary secretion on the stigma nourishes the pollen grains. This nourishment causes the growth of a pollen tube, which carries the male gametes down the stigma towards the ovule. When the male gametes finally unite with the ovule, fertilization occurs and causes the development of seeds. These developing seeds produce a plant hormone which stimulates fruit tissue growth. This in turn increases fruit and seed quality and fruit yield. What are pollinators? A pollinator is an animal that assists in the reproduction of plants by transferring pollen from flower to flower, with the largest group of animal pollinators being insects. Despite the fact that European honeybees are widely used in Australia's crop production, they are not actually native to Australia. Australia has approximately 2,000 species of native bee, and many of these bees visit flowers to collect pollen, which is a protein, to feed their babies, and nectar, which is a sugar, as an energy source. Our native bees actively collect pollen, and most of them pack it into special hairs under their body. As they move between flowers, large numbers of pollen grains are transferred between flowers. Australia also has a wide variety of other insect pollinators. Wasps, hoverflies, and lady beetles also collect nectar from flowers to give them the energy they need to perform other useful roles. Wasps require energy to hunt for insects, and this includes pest insects. And hoverflies and lady beetles need energy to hunt aphids. As the pollinators visit the flowers, small amounts of pollen get stuck to their bodies, and this is transferred from the stigma of flowers to other flowers. What is Pollinator Week? It is a designated week when communities, businesses, and organisations can come together to raise awareness for the importance of pollinators and support their needs. Pollinator Week has been celebrated in the Northern Hemisphere since 2007. But June isn't a very inspiring time for insects in Australia. Australian Pollinator Week did not come into being until 2015 as part of a community project called Be Aware of Your Native Bees. Australian Pollinator Week acknowledges our important and unique insect pollinators during the Southern Hemisphere's spring. It is held during the second week of November every year, and it is held from Sunday to Sunday to coincide with the wild pollinator count. So why should we participate in Australian Pollinator Week events? Because pollination services within agricultural and horticultural systems are vital for food production. And pollinators drive biodiversity. But currently, some pollinator populations are declining due to inappropriate pesticide use, habitat loss, and food resource loss. We need to make people more aware of the importance of our insect pollinators and the fact that they are under threat. So what can we do? As individuals, we can help reverse pollinator declines by stopping or reducing pesticide use, planting more flowering plants in our gardens, and creating nesting sites such as bee hotels, or making space on the ground for ground nesting insects. However, the biggest thing that people can do is to spread the word about the importance of pollinators. Through education and events such as Australian Pollinator Week, we can make people more aware of these hard-working insects, and hopefully this will encourage more people to care for the pollinators around them. Group activities encourage discussion and further engagement, all whilst having fun. This presentation is designed to increase community awareness by engaging the public in hands-on art activities. There are many free resources that can be found on the Bees Business website, including colouring in pictures, mazes, and crosswords. Activities that you can get your community to participate in include native insect drawing or colouring in competitions, face painting, native insect photography competitions, painting native insect murals, or putting up art installations such as bee bells in your community. In many cases, art and craft activities might not directly benefit insect pollinators, but these activities will encourage people to ask questions about native pollinators. To help encourage participation in Pollinator Week, Megan Halcroft and Ebony Salama designed Rita the reed bee to be the Australian Pollinator Week mascot. Rita is a semi-social Australian native bee. She progressively feeds her young in an open brood chamber of a small, hollow plant stem. Whilst designing Rita, Megan and Ebony tried to stay true to the morphological structures that define reed bees. Her red abdomen has flattened metasomal segments, and she uses these to defend her nest by blocking the entrance. She has a black thorax pinched at the waist and yellow markings on her clypeus, or forehead, made more distinct by her gorgeous pompadour. Rita's legs are very hairy, as she needs them to carry pollen back to her nest to feed her babies. So come join Rita in spreading the message about Australian Pollinator Week. Please share this presentation with your friends and colleagues. They are available on the Australian Pollinator Week page on the Bees Business website, and share the awareness.